Dear finance professionals and students, welcome to podcast of FCA Deepak Rao, a practicing chartered accountant. Weekly digest for week 5 of December 2025. Taxpayers are receiving unexpected emails from the income tax department. These messages halt tax refunds due to discrepancies in claim deductions and donations. The department cites issues like incorrect charity details or high refund claims compared to salary. Tax practitioners note that even accurate claims are being flagged, causing anxiety among honest citizens. The quick commerce sector is set for sharper scrutiny given its high cash burn and aggressive expansion plans. Per analysts, market share dynamics, which have been a point of contention between the players in the past, are expected to become clearer with Zepto's post-listing public disclosures. India is considering increasing custom duties and offering targeted incentives for goods with high imports despite local production. This move aims to reduce the merchandise trade gap and supply chain dependence, with a list of around 100 items, including engineering goods and consumer products, under review. The Goods and Services Tax Appellate Tribunal is set to become operational nationwide. Benches have been formally allotted to 83 newly appointed members. These members are expected to join their respective benches by January 21, 2026. This development will enable the commencement of tax dispute resolution hearings shortly thereafter. State governments are arranging necessary space for immediate functioning. Bandhan Bank has sold a Rs 3,212 crore microfinance non-performing loan portfolio to ARCIL for Rs 578 crore. This sale follows a Swiss challenge process. The bank also initiated a process to sell an additional Rs 3,720 crore in loans. These actions come as the bank's asset quality faced pressure from the microfinance segment. The Securities and Exchange Board of India, or SEBI, has reviewed and streamlined the procedure and documentation requirements for issuance of duplicate securities. The objective is to simplify, standardize, and expedite the process for investors while ensuring adequate safeguards. The monetary threshold for availing simplified documentation has been increased from Rs 5 lakh to Rs 10 lakh. For cases involving securities exceeding Rs 10 lakh, documentation requirements have been rationalized. Notarization requirements have been dispensed with for low-value cases falling within the simplified threshold. The revised framework applies with immediate effect. India's automobile sector is set to end 2025 on a high, with overall sales expected to cross 28 million units by December 31st in a sharp recovery from a dull start to the calendar year. As of Sunday, total vehicle sales had reached 27.96 million units based on data from the Vahan portal. At the current daily average of over 77,000 units, the industry is on track to close the year with over 28.2 million units. This marks a strong recovery for the sector, which crossed its pre-pandemic peak of 25.4 million units recorded in 2018 only in 2024. Industry experts attribute this surge mainly to goods and services tax rationalization, revised income tax slabs, and 4 rate cuts by the Reserve Bank of India, which boosted disposable incomes of customers. Mahindra & Mahindra is set to claim the second spot in India's car market by the end of 2025. The company will surpass Hyundai Motor India, moving to second place. Tata Motors is expected to secure the third position. This shift highlights the dynamic nature of India's growing automotive sector. Citigroup said it is selling the last of its business operations in Russia and expecting to log a $1.1 billion loss in the process. AO Citibank, which conducts the company's remaining operations in Russia, is being sold to Renaissance Capital. The Reserve Bank of India has urged microfinance institutions to monitor stress build-up on their books, noting lower disbursements in southern states. This comes as the industry adopts guardrails to ensure steady growth following challenges like borrower over-leverage. The RBI's revised framework aims for systematic and sustainable growth while fostering financial inclusion. Chinese auto giant BYD is set to overtake Tesla as the world's top electric vehicle seller for 2025. BYD's sales have significantly outpaced Tesla's, with projections indicating a decline for the American company. Industry watchers anticipate a transition period for EV demand in the US following tax credit changes. Arvind Fashions Limited said it will acquire Flipkart Group's 31.25% stake in Arvind Youth Brands Private Limited or AYBPL for Rs 135 crore. AYBPL is currently engaged in the business of wholesale and retail of apparel and accessories under the brand name Flying Machine. It had a turnover of Rs 432.16 crore in the financial year ended March 31, 2025. Earlier this month, Flipkart had reported that it has secured clearance from the National Company Law Tribunal to flip its domicile from Singapore to India. With this, the Walmart-owned e-commerce player moves closer to its public market debut dream. The Accounting Standards Board or ASB of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India or ICAI has issued a set of frequently asked questions or FAQs to provide clarity on the key accounting implications arising from the implementation of the new labor codes. These FAQs address important questions relating to the recognition, measurement, presentation and disclosure of employee benefit obligations, particularly gratuity and leave encashment, under Ind AS and Indian Generally Accepted Accounting Principle or GAAP. Branded hotels in India are set to add nearly 20,000 rooms over the next 2 fiscals, a 20% rise in supply, says CRISIL Ratings. Despite the increase, occupancies are expected to stay steady at 74 to 75%, with average room rates or ARR rising 5 to 7% as demand outpaces supply. India's next wave of growth is coming from smaller cities. Brands are adapting products and pricing to reach millions of aspirational yet price-conscious consumers. This shift is reshaping retail from fast fashion to quick commerce. Companies are focusing on local needs and value to capture this expanding market. The future of consumption is moving beyond major metros. Bharat Forge Limited has secured a significant Rs 1,661.9 crore contract from the Ministry of Defence to supply 2,55,128 CQB carbines to the Indian Army. This order, to be executed over 5 years, highlights the indigenous development and manufacturing capabilities of the 5.56 into 45 mm carbine, aligning with the Atmanirbhar Bharat mission. Indian Hotels Company has exited Taj GVK Hotels and Resorts. The company sold its entire 25.52% stake, comprising 1.6 crore shares, to Shalini Bhupal. This marks the end of Indian Hotels Company's ownership in Taj GVK Hotels and Resorts. The deal was announced on Tuesday. Gru Solar has landed a groundbreaking deal valued at over Rs 2,000 crore with NTPC Renewable Energy Limited, set to provide an impressive 1,464.5 megawatt of solar modules for renewable energy projects sprinkled throughout Uttar Pradesh. This landmark order marks a pivotal moment for Gru Solar, which is simultaneously boosting its Dudu plant capacity. In 2025, Indian real estate experienced a remarkable boost in private equity investments, soaring to $6.7 billion, a staggering 59% increase from the previous year. This surge was primarily fueled by foreign capital, with the office sector at the forefront of investments, closely followed by data centers and residential projects. Reliance Industries shareholders anticipate the much-awaited Jio IPO in H1 of 2026, potentially India's largest listing aiming to unlock significant value. After a substantial rally driven by telecom, retail and refining, the IPO could further boost RIL's market capitalization, though a holding company discount remains a consideration. Russian crude oil shipments to India are projected to reach a 3-year low in December, with deliveries anticipated around 1.1 million barrels daily. This dip follows increased US scrutiny on energy trade, impacting buyer confidence. However, a rebound is expected early next year as Reliance Industries resumes purchases, potentially boosting volumes. Mukesh Ambani on Tuesday unveiled a draft artificial intelligence manifesto for Reliance Industries, setting out an ambition to transform the group into an AI-native deep tech enterprise while targeting a tenfold improvement in productivity across its workforce of more than 600,000 people and a 10x impact on the economy and society. Detailing the internal agenda, Ambani said Reliance will reorganize work around outcomes rather than functions, with end-to-end workflows redesigned and supported by common digital platforms and tighter governance. Core processes such as procure to pay, order to cash, hire to retire, and plan to port will be re-engineered to eliminate manual handoffs, close digital breaks, and enable real-time visibility and decision-making. India is shifting to a pragmatic, interest-based foreign policy for 2026, moving away from rigid alliances. This new global playbook prioritizes economic resilience through diversified trade, energy security via Russian oil purchases, and cautious engagement with China. The strategy aims for flexibility and autonomy, balancing partnerships with national interests in a multipolar world. Maruti Suzuki achieved its highest ever vehicle exports in 2025, exporting 3.95 lakh units and marking a 21% growth. This accomplishment solidifies its position as India's top passenger vehicle exporter for the 5th consecutive year. The company also commenced exports of Suzuki's first battery electric vehicle, the e-Vitara, to 29 countries. Corporate India is likely to hire more in the year ahead compared with 2025. Staffing services firm TeamLease predicts Indian companies to add 10 to 12 million jobs in calendar 2026 compared with 8 to 10 million in 2025. HR executives at companies such as EY, Godrej Consumer Products, Diageo, Tata Motors and Motilal Oswal Financial Services said they are stepping up recruitment with a focus on diversity and campus hiring. For years, the global weight loss miracle has been a luxury reserved for India's ultra-wealthy, with innovative brands like semaglutide sold globally as Ozempic and tirzepatide costing between Rs 8,000 to 10,000 per month. These cutting-edge obesity drugs have remained out of reach for the masses. A revolution in India's weight loss market is coming. As semaglutide's patent ends in March 2026, Sun Pharma, Lupin, Torrent and Intas are racing to capture a Rs 10,000 crore obesity drug boom with prices set to fall by half. Merger and acquisition activity in the cement sector is likely to remain muted through at least the first half of 2026, as the country's largest producers prioritize integration of earlier acquisitions over fresh deal-making. After an intense 2-year period of consolidation led by Adani Group's cement arm and market leader Ultratech Cement, calendar 2025 saw a sharp slowdown in transaction activity. Both major groups are now focused on absorbing assets acquired over the past few years into their operating structures, a process that is expected to take time and management bandwidth. The Ministry of Corporate Affairs or MCA, via its circular dated October 17, 2025, had earlier granted a one-time relaxation to companies for filing financial statements Form AOC 4, AOC 4 XBRL, AOC 4 CFS and annual returns Form MGT 7, MGT 7A for the financial year 2024-25 without payment of additional fees up to December 31, 2025. The MCA has now extended this relaxation by one additional month to 31st January 2026. Vodafone Idea has secured a 10-year extension on its adjusted gross revenue payments, a move that has been confirmed by officials who have frozen the owed amount. Anticipated adjustments are expected to bring down the total significantly, providing much needed financial respite to the company. British private equity firm Apax Partners is set to acquire a quarter stake in ID Fresh Food for approximately Rs 1,300 crore, valuing the packaged breakfast staples maker at nearly Rs 4,500 crore. This marks one of Apax's first pure-play consumer investments in India, aligning with the firm's focus on premiumization trends. Flexible workspace operators are strategically partnering with Global Capability Centers or GCCs to facilitate their expansion into India. GCCs require significant office space by 2030, with flex spaces poised to capture a substantial portion. These operators are offering comprehensive solutions beyond just desks, acting as extended operational teams to ensure speed to market and seamless execution for entering firms. Toyota Kirloskar Motor saw a significant sales jump in December 2025 with a 33% increase. For the entire year 2025, total sales rose by 19%. Domestic sales also showed strong growth. The company attributes this success to customer acceptance, government reforms, and new model variants. Toyota remains committed to decarbonization through its multi-path approach. India's semiconductor push is moving beyond announcements and capital commitments as global customers start to sign up for local manufacturing and assembly. While the momentum so far has been policy-led, customers coming on board shows that India is increasingly being viewed as a workable link in global supply chains. Ola Electric on Thursday reported vehicle registrations of 9,020 units in December as per Vahan data, with increased market share to 9.3% in December over 7.2% in November 2025 on the back of Hyper Service, its focused service transformation program. The company attributed the strong performance to Hyper Service, its focused service transformation program, positioning it for a sustained business turnaround driven by improving customer experience, rising demand, and disciplined operational execution. GSTN has implemented mandatory system validations, ensuring that ITC reclaimed and RCM ITC claimed in GSTR 3B do not exceed ledger balances. If excess claims are made, GSTR 3B filing will be blocked until the excess ITC is reversed or the additional RCB liability is paid, making ledger reconciliation a critical pre-filing requirement. The GSTN has issued an advisory along with FAQs introducing these system-based validations. Old income tax demands from as early as 2005 are resurfacing on tax portals, with accumulated interest often exceeding the principal amount. This digitization effort has created an unpleasant situation as taxpayers may challenge the validity of these demands due to potential issues with timely delivery of notices and assessment orders. DSM Fresh Foods, which operates under the brand Zapfresh, on Friday announced the acquisition of a 51% stake in Aviom Food Tech to enter the ready food solutions segment. Aviom Food Tech, formerly IEY Education, incorporated in 2022, is engaged in the manufacturing, processing and export of ready-to-eat and ready-to-cook food products, including frozen foods, snacks, gravies and sauces. The Board of Steel Exchange of India has approved fundraising of up to Rs 700 crore, the company said in an official statement. The company has also received an upgradation in its credit ratings, which is likely to help manage the raised fund. The steel manufacturer added that the raised capital will be utilized towards bolstering the company's financials by helping strengthen its balance sheet, enhancing financial flexibility, and also supporting its long-term growth initiatives. The Ministry of Electronics and IT on Friday said it has approved 22 new proposals under the Electronics Components Manufacturing Scheme or ECMS with a projected investment of Rs 41,863 crore and production of 2,58,152 crore. The approved proposals include those from Dixon, Samsung Display Noida Private Limited, Foxconn and Hindalco Industries. These approvals are expected to spur 33,791 direct employment opportunities. Aurobindo Pharma's wholly owned subsidiary, Aura Pharma, has acquired the non-oncology prescription formulations business of Khandelwal Labs for Rs 325 crore. Aurobindo Pharma said the acquisition will help expand its domestic footprint and strengthen its presence in pain management and anti-infective segments. The non-oncology prescription formulations business of Khandelwal Labs that Aurobindo Pharma acquired includes 23 brands marketed across 67 SKUs along with 9 pipeline products. The central government has notified the Indian Insurance Companies Foreign Investment Amendment Rules 2025, bringing significant changes to the regulatory framework governing foreign investment in Indian insurance companies. The amendments aim to align existing rules and updated foreign exchange regulations and clarify foreign direct investment or FDI related provisions. The Securities and Exchange Board of India or SEBI has introduced a mandatory certification requirement for compliance officers of managers of alternative investment funds or AIFs. This move aims to strengthen regulatory compliance and ensure that compliance functions within AIFs are handled by adequately qualified professionals. SEBI has clarified that with effect from 1st January 2027, only individuals who have successfully obtained the NISM certification may be appointed as compliance officers of AIF managers. This provides a transition period for existing officers to meet this certification requirement.
This podcast is sponsored by Sound of CA. We share because we care. Vande Mataram, Jai Hind.